Well, it's really not a secret that in California, the insurance market right now is terrible. It's very difficult to get insurance, and a lot of people are asking us, as their property manager, why is this the case? And so we wanted to address that in this video. And we got to go all the way back to November of 1988, as you can see here with Proposition 103. It says that it was intended to protect consumers from arbitrary insurance rates and practices, to encourage a competitive marketplace, and to ensure that insurance is fair, available, and affordable for all Californians. That was the guarantee. This was something that we all voted on, but that's not exactly what has happened. And proponents of Proposition 103 would point to something like this. Supposedly, Prop 103 has saved the California consumer $5.5 billion on insurance over that period of time. But now what you have to understand about Prop 103 is that it created a regulatory commission that has to improve the rate increases of insurance companies. So they decided that they would meddle in the free market. And when government does that, typically doesn't go well. There's unintended consequences. And the government said, we can fix this. And was their plan to do that. And now that insurance companies cannot increase their rates without going through this very long and extensive process, they've just said, we're losing money. We're going to go out of business. So we're just going to stop writing policies in California altogether. And that puts us in the predicament that we're in now, where all these companies have left. There's now actually very little competition because there's very few companies that are still able and willing to write policies in California. And so rates are high, and it's difficult to obtain insurance. And you'll have insurance companies saying things like, well, we'll only insure it if you do a full roof replacement. And we've seen this on roofs as old as 10 years. They want a full brand new roof before they'll insure the property. And here's a great example of what this looks like. This is an article talking about the State Farm pullback. And I highlighted something here that is enlightening. It says that the state regulator in 2022 approved 41 rate filings with an average length of time to approval of 349 days. In 2021, there were 47 with an average wait time of 309 days. And we've all seen what's happened over the last few years. That's almost a year-long process to get your rates improved. Well, what's happened with inflation in that period of time? It's already time for another rate increase. So that the insurance companies just cannot keep up with the cost that they have of doing business. And here we are in this predicament. And there's even a source that from NBC that says that for every dollar that insurance companies take in, they've had to pay out $1.08. And no business can run like that. So here we are, and you're probably wondering, well, what do I do? How do I handle this? That's where I want to offer some guidance and hopefully some hope for you. Now, let me first say that here at Mesa Properties, we are not licensed insurance agents. We do not deal with insurance. We do not write policies. We're not underwriters, none of that. We make no profit on any insurance related product, but we have a lot of relationships with agents and companies that are still able to write policies in California. So if you're having an issue getting insurance and you are a property owner of ours, please reach out to us and let us know. And we'd be happy to connect you with agents that we know are currently able to write policies. But be prepared for the sticker shock, because stuff has gone up a lot. We're talking in policies you may have spent $800 for a year on are now $3,000 plus. I mean, serious increases. The other thing that you have to do is keep up with the market rent. If the market rent has gone up since you place your tenant and we recommend that you do a rent increase, you should do the rent increase, because we know that these things are happening. You may not necessarily, if you're not paying attention to what's going on in the economy and your insurance hasn't been affected, we know that it's going to cost so much more for a water heater, for a garbage disposal, for a new roof, for insurance. And so we're trying to keep all of our properties close to market value. That being said, in the last year and a half, rents have not gone up all that much. So your property manager might be reaching out and saying, hey, you need to renew the lease, and we recommend you don't touch the rent at all because it hasn't gone up and we don't want to lose your tenant. The main thing I'll say is, you hired us to be your advisor, and we are individually reviewing every single property and every single lease when it comes time to renew it, and making a personalized recommendation based on the specific market rent for that property. So it's not some algorithm, it's not some automated process, it's a personalized process. We say, this is what we think you should do with the rent to both ensure that you are insulated against these higher prices while also not going over market, kicking your tenant out, incurring a vacancy. That can be financially ruinous as well. So that's what you have us for. We're understanding what's going on in the market and making these recommendations to you as your trusted advisor. I really don't want it to be all doom and gloom. So let me show you just this chart here. This is the average home price in Southern California since 2020, and you can see some drastic increases. Both rents and home values themselves are up. It depends on the market because real estate's hyper-local, but 40 to 45%. This is still an excellent state to own rental property in. This is a temporary problem that you're going to weather some temporary pain to get through. And California, historically speaking, looking back, appreciation has always made this an excellent state to own rental property in. So look at your investment as a whole, not just year to year, but look at what the performance of the investment has done as the home value has increased, as the rent has come in, as it's cash flowed, as you've paid down your mortgage, and as you've been able to write off expenses and all of the variety of ways that owning real estate helps you. Don't get bogged down just by the, oh, my insurance went up and it was painful and difficult, or I had this really expensive repair. As a whole, your investment, if you've owned it for more than 4 or 5 years, is performing excellently. And so we would just encourage you to press on to get through this. Take pride in the fact that you're providing housing for somebody who can't afford to buy a home or doesn't want to buy a home for whatever reason, but you're adding inventory to the rental market, which is an excellent thing. The media and the news and tenant advocacy groups will always try to make it seem like landlords are the bad guy, but we strongly disagree. You are doing an excellent thing by providing rental housing, and it's also good for you as just an investment vehicle. And so we hope that you'll continue to get through the difficulties and see the silver lining and see the big picture and be happy with your investment. Hopefully that's helpful. Again, if you need any help with finding insurance, with getting connected with insurance agents, just reach out to your property management team and we'll be happy to connect you.